to Genre-lly Speaking. I'm Newton Figley, filling in for Ron Luty. With me today is William F. Ost III. May I call you Bill?
You may.
Okay, Rick. Mr. Ost is a well-known raconteur, general man about town, embittered failed novelist, who's currently working on his latest novel, which is...
I don't have a title, to tell you the truth.
Fine, we'll make one up.
That is a title.
That is the title?
That is the title.
Great. Now, Mr. Ost, do you rely on your library for a particular kind of genre?
Oh, yes, I do. Where fiction is concerned, I rely on the library mostly for bestsellers. I would call it the action or thriller genre. Many novels by Tom Clancy, Clive Cussler, Stephen Hunter, anything of that sort.
So, cheap thrills.
Very cheap thrills.
Why is that you rely on the library?
The books in hardcover are far too expensive for me to buy. They cost between $20 and $25 a copy in hardcover, and I'm unwilling to wait until they come out in paper to read them. I'm unwilling to buy a book that expensive when I'm not certain I'll like it or read it again, and so the library is a perfect answer for that.
Now, how do you find out about the new titles and the new authors?
I look for book reviews published in newspapers and magazines. Since I work in a newsroom, I have access to Associated Press book reviews, and I browse through those. I will also sometimes just go to the library and browse through the books there, and also I accept recommendations from friends and acquaintances.
Fantastic. What does this particular kind of reading do for you?
It's pure escapism, just plain fun. Reading is my favorite form of escape, whether it's historic, history books rather, classics, poetry, or just the trashy bestsellers. Those are, of course, the purest form of escape of all.
Oh, great. Well, thank you, Mr. Ost. We will return to Genre-lly Speaking after these important announcements from your viewer-supported PBS station. Isn't this great? This is one of those programs, Genre-lly Speaking, that without your support, we'd have a tough time showing. We'd be showing something like Full House instead. We're still waiting for your calls on our pledge line, and we're waiting. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. Okay. Without viewers like you, we'd be in a real rut here at our PBS stations. It's because of you that we're able to show programs like Genre-lly Speaking. And we'd really like you to call in at our pledge drive number. If you would please call in. Please call in. We know you're out there, and we'd really appreciate your calling in. As you see, our operators carry these handy cellular phones, so we can... There's one of our calls right now. I'm sure it's a pledge of a couple $100. Hello, this is your PBS station. Mom, I told you not to call me here. Mom. Okay, I'll get it when I come home. Anyways, now back to our program today, Genre-lly Speaking. Welcome back to Genre-lly Speaking. Our guest today is William F. Ost III. Our topic is cheap thrills. Mr. Ost, how does your library collection of cheap thrills rate?
Oh, no more than fair. Sometimes I have to wait a long time for a particular book, and sometimes the library doesn't buy books I think it really should. But it's a small town library with very limited resources, so it's understandable.
Now, how does the library help you in this area?
The library has established waiting lists, calling lists actually for books. It's a nice service as it ensures you're going to get the book sooner or later, and you don't have to go running to the library all the time hoping the book will soon be on the shelf.
But how could the library still be more responsive to your needs?
Only by ordering more books and more copies of particular books. Again, however, it's a small town library with limited resources, so I understand why they don't.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us on Genre-lly Speaking, Mr. Ost. And thank you for joining us on Genre-lly Speaking. Join us next week when our guest will be Salman Rushdie. Our topic will be his latest work in progress, I Remember Mecca. Until then, I'm Newton Figley for Ron Ludy. See you later.